a good reception.
And guys, we are live here on Talking Tough. It's a special day because my good friend and yours, Eric Butterbean Ash, is traveling the highways and byways of America in his newly purchased custom Beanmobile. And Bean, I love this, man, because dude, you set a goal, and when you set it, you didn't think you were going to achieve it. I thought you would, but you persevered, man. You kicked some ass, and look at you. You're cruising, and I hope you're going to give us a tour today. That'll be a beautiful
I'm going to do my best. I don't know how to operate everything yet, so I'm working on minimum lights. I got the generator started right up. I don't know what switch to flip to make everything work. But on the back of the camper, I'm getting this painted on it.
Oh, nice!
No,
I love it.
No, but wait a sec. You're going to attract attention and followers doing that. Do you want that? I mean, that's going to be interesting, man.
See it better.
Yeah, we see it.
It's a tour bus.
Keep it closer and hold it still. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, the feet are too small.
Yeah. You know what they say about small feet.
Oh man, Bean, you're gonna get some stalkers on the road, but maybe that'll add to the fun of the journey. That's all right. With that thing
I got my first taste of driving. I've been driving for about 5 hours, and $135 later.
Wow. How far did you get?
5 hours. However, I'm not sure. I haven't checked the mileage yet, but the reviews I've seen on this one, it gets anywhere from 15 to 18 miles a gallon, which is really good for an RV.
Wow.
I just bought a 2002 Land Rover a couple of weeks ago, and I'm getting 10 miles a gallon on that thing. How is that even possible? Your RV is getting better mileage than my car. That is crazy.
Well, the main reason it was so expensive because it's a diesel. Diesels last forever.
Where are you headed? Where are you at in the world, Bean? Where are you headed? What's the itinerary?
Well, I'm headed to Alabama. I bought it in Tulsa, Oklahoma, because it's the only one I could find like this. Hey, Libby's gonna walk into the bathroom. You know, when you're a big guy like me, a bathroom's really important.
Oh no! Here comes the weekly Butterbean bathroom tips. You know it's coming.
Do we want to see this? That's pretty nice. Looks like you're in a house.
Pretty snazzy.
I hope that's a shower, not a bathroom with glass.
I'm not mad at you, Bean.
Busy. It'll be okay. So, Bean.
Hello.
Hey, Libby. Hey, Lib. Well, Bean, we're happy for you, man. That's so cool that you're able to pull this off. I think me and Boss and Shawn are just all
jealous,
stationary,
jealous
in our homes.
I am.
Boss, what are you up to, man? What's going on with you?
You know, I'm very lucky, and I'm gonna have to, because this week finally my auto trainer is ready.
Awesome.
So now finally, I think Friday, hopefully, but Monday they say we will be able. There's one little thing we're fixing, but it's looking great. I've been training with it, and as you can see, it's an updated model from what you have there, Rick. You see this? Let me see.
Explain what it does. Explain what it does, boss.
I don't even have the new.
It controls the air intake. Oh, yeah. There it is. The jump. So what it does is it trains your breathing muscles. Like, what people don't know is that you have about 11 pounds the average human being. So you probably have more. I have more. Like Bean has more. Rick has less. And, they have 11 pounds of breathing muscles. And those breathing muscles you cannot work out only with a device like this. So once you know, when you get tired, I always say, people, when you're gassing, that is literally oxygenated blood from your limbs, they leave to support your breathing muscles, since those are the number one priority in your body. So if you update those, you'll be able to expand your chest more and faster, so you can move more air in and out, and it does wonders for your breathing as well. It's really amazing.
When do you actually use it?
Kind of like, instead of like training in low altitude, going up to Big Bear, California, like a lot of us did, and training real high altitude where the air is thin. So you have to suck more air in.
Yeah, okay. So my competition, they say that it works like that. It doesn't. They're freaking lying. It's impossible to do. Now, what does happen is, though, since you train those muscles, they become more efficient and they need less oxygen. That's how muscles build, right? The more you train them over and over again, they become more efficient and then they use less oxygen. So once you're high altitude, you'll be able to breathe in faster, in and out more, and you'll be able to pull more air in. So it will help guaranteed, but it doesn't do anything with the red blood cell count.
Yeah. So when do you use it, boss?
I use it once a day. It takes about 4 minutes. You need to do 30 repetitions. It's a certain exercise that you do with it. It all is on the website, and it comes in the manual. And if you do it like that, one exercise attacks the front breathing muscles, which is your diaphragm, your intercostals, which are the muscles in between your ribs, your outer intercostals. And the exercise number 2 attacks your back breathing muscles. People go like, well, back breathing muscles. Yeah, that is the biggest one, because once I started adding that exercise, because you never use those muscles, dude, it completely changed my breathing. Like I was getting tired doing this. That is completely gone. I can hit the bags hard and out. I come out. It's like this. It's really weird because I'm completely controlled right now. It's
all right, Bob. I'm excited about getting mine.
yes, and I will say.
Yeah.
What's the web address? What's the web address?
O2trainer.com. O2trainer.com.
Nice.
John will put that up on the screen for us. And boss, I think I've told you this. You mentioned I'm smaller, so I have less lungs, but I actually had about 70% of my lungs totally cut out with all the surgeries I had a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I have to say, man, this thing has made a very, very noticeable difference for me. This is in front of me every day, and I rely on it now. So that is a huge endorsement for the O2 Trainer. And I want to say hi real quick to Angie and Abby, who are out there saying hello to us, and to Philip and Mike. You're damn right. 4 bald men does equal trouble. You're absolutely correct. All right, Shawn, take it away, my friend.
I told you I was at the Olympia last weekend. Well, I should say Friday and Saturday, where Big Ramy won the title again. He defended it. As a matter of fact, this year's show was a repeat of last year's show, the top 3, same order. Big Ramy, Brendan Curry, Hadi Chupin. So we have Egypt, Tennessee, and Iran. I was there with my company, Mutant Supplements, and we launched a brand new campaign for my pre-workout product, which I'm going to send you guys. And right here it is. You can see the box. Bam! All in.
Packaging. Packaging.
There's a handsome man there.
All in madness, bro. I'm going to send you guys this. This is it. Pre-workout. Good stuff.
It's an energy, but good energy.
Yeah, and we just launched it. It comes with the shaker bottle. So I'll give you the whole tour. Get the shaker bottle from Mutant, and get the towel to wipe your brow. You're gonna be working out hard, baby. It's a nice little package. It's all in one, and you guys can give me the feedback when I send it out to you.
That's some beautiful.
Open it up again and show me the picture from you that's inside.
That was taken yesterday. You get this.
Great.
You're gonna get this.
You're a little heavy, but you still look good.
Thank you. Get this at IamMutant.com. IamMutant.com. Brand new.
Wow.
John, that's really nice, man.
Thank you.
Mr. Wonderful is saying that you were supposed to have fought Lee Priest. Is that correct? How did that happen?
You know who Lee Priest is, right?
I do, of course. Famous bodybuilder, yes.
Well, yeah, he's a famous bodybuilder. But he's a guy I competed with for a few years that never beat me. So he's looking for, it's kind of like Mitch Green is to Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah, right.
And we all have that one guy with the big mouth that's just trying to goad us into something. And I just kind of feel like he uses my name to get hits, likes, and follows, because the more crap he talks about me, the more people are waiting for me to respond. He's 5'0". No, no pun intended, Rich. But he's this big. He's not a fighter. He's a bodybuilder. And if he had fought somebody and did that, that's one thing. But what he does is he try to get people to follow him and be interested by using my name. I don't buy into it. I don't take the bait. And I'm also not a fighter. Okay, so that's not gonna happen.
No.
Hey, there's always someone like that out there that tries to make a name on a bigger name. So to answer your question out there, my friend, I'm just going to say it, Shawn. The guy's being kind of a jerk off and was trying to build himself on somebody else's rep. So I think we all know that story for sure. No
he's going on his second decade of trying to do that. the more I ignore him, the more he keeps trying to call me out. But everybody has that guy. And
Bo Truex is saying sorry he's late, and I see this guy. I see Bo's comments pop up week after week throughout the entire show, and I don't think we ever acknowledged Bo before. So what? And Butterbean, he's saying he just watched your documentary today. Why don't we all say hey to Bo real quick? Hey, Bo.
What's up, Bo?
What's up, Bo?
Jimmy. It looks like it was Jimmy from the
Be
door.
careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for.
Guys, bottom of the screen right now, everybody watching, IamMutant.com. That's Shawn Ray's website. That's where you get that beautiful package that Shawn just showed us. It's the one he hasn't sent me yet, but I don't feel too bad. It's all right. It's okay. Anyway, moving on. Dan Bilzerian was supposed to be with us today. He wanted us to read his book first, and I said, sure, send us 4 books. He'd be a great guy to have on. I just thought it was kind of funny that he wanted us to buy his books first before he came on as a guest.
Well, I think we all kind of know something about the guy, right? I mean, he's every guy's guy, right? I mean, do I need to read his book? I mean, we've seen what he does.
Yeah, I actually did order it because I thought it might be fun to at least look at the pictures.
Sure.
Oh
yeah.
Why not? But,
probably better than the book.
In any case, he does send his apologies. We have Ken Shamrock, Mick Foley joining us a week after next, and then we have Ken Shamrock after that. And getting a lot of guest requests for Talking Tough, and keep the ideas coming, everybody. Keep the guests coming. We were talking before we went on air today, and here's the criteria. I'm going to sound really snobby now because I don't fit any of these following boxes, but Boss and Butterbean and Shawn Ray do. We're looking for guests that are really at the A list of their profession, like JBL in pro wrestling, that either are legitimate tough guys or have a rep of being a serious tough guy, as all of our guests do, and who have lived through some real shit in their life and don't mind talking about what they did to get into it and how they came out of it. So we have some really good guests like that coming up. More ideas, keep them coming. We'll do our best to bring incredible people on for you week after week. But in the meantime, we have Shawn Ray, Boss Rutten, and Butterbean. So we're doing great.
Yeah, I sent a message to my boy Chuck Zito. Going to try to get him to come on the show.
Chuck would be nice.
Yeah, he's good people.
Shawn, yeah. I want to predict what answer Chuck sent to you if he did send one. Did you get it?
No, right before we came on, I sent him the message. I was hoping he might. I don't know where in the world he is right now. Okay. But when you told me Dan wasn't going to make it, I fired off the message. So we'll see.
I want to bet you a free box of Shawn Ray swag.
All in.
That he's going to come back and tell you that he has never once logged on to a Zoom call or any kind of streaming event live, and he never will.
Well, yeah.
I'll bet you.
The older you get, the less digitally savvy you are. You're probably right. But I'll tell him to go find a 10-year-old and log him on.
I would love to have Chuck on. Boss and Bean, you've met Rusty Kuntz before. Shawn, you may know Rusty. He's the head of the Hells Angels. And monster guy. I mean, physical monster. Did his hard time. Truly one of the coolest guys you could ever meet. Maybe we should bring Rusty on. I don't know. What do you think, Boss?
I would love to have him on because he's completely turned around as well, right? We talked to him before. And I love stories like that. These are, you can see the super badass guys who did a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah. A lot of bad stuff in the past.
Yeah.
And he owns it. That's a beautiful thing. So Bo True, we're probably not going to talk too much about anabolics this week, but we appreciate all the questions, man. Keep them coming, please.
I don't know what that is. Turkestone. What the hell is that? I've never heard it before.
It's the cartoon version of the Flintstones in Turkey.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
I don't know what that is. Bean, Mike N says you're his hero. He's from
No, you was.
Thanks, my friend.
You was my hero.
Was your hero.
Yeah.
That is great.
I like matches. I know Boss with I
There you
don't know stuff, but one was me afraid. That's nice messages. Thanks, Ed. Whitson.
Yeah, that's cool. Ed Wilson, thank you.
Hey, guys, did you hear that William Shatner, Captain Kirk, he's Blue Origin, the company, is going into space. So he went to space This
Yep.
time for real, not on a TV show.
Yes.
I think
cool
it's
is
the
That's why it was
spaces,
such a
or
big
did they
deal.
go up and back down?
Straight up and straight back down, in and out.
Straight up- yeah, but I would love to do that one time, to see the Earth. I mean, how cool would that be?
No
That
doubt.
would be.
Well, guys, once we get to 1 billion listeners, maybe we can do a podcast from space.
Set it up. Why don't you set it up?
Well, where I kind of felt like I was disengaged was the technology, right? You think of going to space, you think of making an orbit at least once around the Earth. You think maybe they're going to stay up there more than 5 minutes. Not only that, that booster came down unmanned and landed. Normally they shoot those boosters and they go different places. This one came back and landed the way it took off. That's just the booster.
Wow.
And then the capsule normally would land in sea. This thing came down and landed on the ground. And I thought, what was the impact? I think I saw somewhere around 17, 18 miles an hour when it hit the ground. That's fast. When you hit the ground, you're 90 years old and you're strapped in. I mean, that cushion, I just thought, what was that impact like,
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. I don't understand the definition of what space is either, because you would think they do a lot more than they're doing. But yeah, it's cool just to go.
But they're not really going into space, right? They're not breaking through, right?
I don't know the definition. I think there's some dividing line, but I don't really know exactly.
Put it this way, 2,000 miles an hour I saw it clock up to. 2,000 miles an hour. I'm like, holy, are their eyes even open at that point? Like, you know what I mean?
Mine would be closed.
Hey guys, guess what else Captain Kirk did this week?
What did he do?
He joined Cameo. I get to push it every week.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Ross Bruton, Shawn, Ray, and Butterbean, all on Cameo to give you personalized greetings. Go check them out there. I love mentioning that stuff because that's my day job. I have to talk about it every now and then.
No, he's a stud.
I was talking to somebody about Cameo, and then I give the example of Mick Foley, and I saw that he has 4,000 reviews, so he probably did like 6,000 of Cameos. I go, dude, that is crazy.
Popular. So I bet half of them are like this.
It's only a hand
It's interesting, boss. Some of the guys, like our friends of ours, like Mick Foley, Bruce Buffer is a great example.
Yeah.
They've made this like their second career. For a lot of people, it's supplemental money. It's a way to engage with your fans and say hello and really deepen a fan connection. But guys like Bruce Buffer and Mick Foley, they've mastered it. And
I see them too. There's a lot of people are on there.
sorry, Shawn?
I talked to a bunch of wrestlers this weekend, and one of them I talked into joining Cameo probably 2 months ago, and he thanked me because he's keeping busy on it. You know the Rock and Roll Express. His son wrestles.
Yep.
He's a big up and comer. I told him to join Cameo, and I told him to join under his dad because
That's
his
cool.
dad's already joining Cameo. So Cameo's awesome. It's growing every day. So y'all just at least check it out. You'll find somebody you like. You got to.
Yep.
Yeah, it's no joke. And being it's funny you said he thanked you. We have, I can't tell you how many musicians, like classic name musicians, who don't release albums anymore, but they make their living touring, right? We've got hundreds of musicians, like people you would have heard of, thanking Cameo for like saving their houses because they were able to talk to their fans during this past year and a half when they couldn't go on the road. So
Yeah, kind of like a GoFundMe, but not really. It's more personal.
yes, exactly that. But guys, I'm a little slow today. I apologize. I quit Red Bull and Afrin and Kratom all over this weekend, and that was an evil trio of stuff, man. It's bad. And,
How much Kratom are you taking?
I would say maybe a third of an ounce a day.
I don't know what that is, guys. What is it? Give me some education.
Teaspoon, tablespoon.
In tablespoons, probably about 8 tablespoons a day.
Oh wow, that's
What does it do?
It's a drug, man.
It's a natural opioid, Shawn. So it's from a coffee tree. It's the cousin from a coffee tree. It's between
8 teaspoons. 8 teaspoons.
Okay,
That's a lot.
I take a tablespoon and a half. And today I have not had one pain. I have to take pain pills still because of my back.
Yep.
I have not took one pain pill all day.
Yep.
Good.
So what did you take it for, Rick? Why are you using it?
Well, I mean, there are two reasons, Shawn. I'll be really honest with you. But first, I'll give you the convenient answer. I live in pain, and I will for the rest of my life, I think, unless I can find a way around it. My last major illness, I've been out of just 4 years now, and I was all but done. So that's residual, and I'm gonna be 60, so it's babysitting for life. One was pain, but here's the honest part of it, man. It's like Boss will tell you and Butterbean will tell you with the pain pills. The time comes where you take it because you need to take it to get up and get on the phone, to engage with other people, to wake up in the morning and be nice to your dogs. That's called an addiction. That's feeding a habit. So I would be absolutely lying to you if I said I took it only for pain.
Right.
I took it more and more and more because, like those freaking narcotics, kratom is a natural plant from Thailand, Shawn, and they turn it into a powder or a capsule, and it was like really lauded to be this, and these cure for pain pill addiction. Well, it's just replacing one addiction with another, and
All right, until they're a sponsor, Rick.
What's that, Bean? Sorry.
They got to become a sponsor.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to go lose us another sponsor right now. Here you go. All right. I have friends, and if they're watching this, because there are people you guys would know, they're going to be pissed if they hear me say this. I have friends who sell kratom, and they know what it is and they know what it does, but they're still going to push it as like the greatest cure-all of all time. Now, I probably wouldn't have called them out except for what's happening now. Now the news thing are psychedelics. This like micro-dosing with magic mushrooms. So now they've switched from kratom to these psychedelics, saying, oh yeah, it turns out kratom was bad after all. But this is now the great thing. So I want to say, you guys, quit pushing fucking drugs. Tell the truth. Stop it. Sorry, I'm off my high horse for the day.
What I like about the kratom, Rick, I feel normal. I don't feel like I'm on anything. I mean, it gives me energy, but it's not like a crazy boost.
Okay.
I take a half a teaspoon in the morning. I do just very light, and it just, I wake up with a cup of coffee. That's it. And then later on, I take a half here, half there. But I don't go over like 3 teaspoons a day for sure. I'm not. I'm probably like 2.5 or 2.
I take a tablespoon and a half.
Yeah.
Guys, that's great. Being you weigh literally 3 times more than I do, and I was taking 6
probably
times.
5 times, Rick. Come on, be real.
And I was taking 6 times more than you take. So we see where the problem is here.
But Rick, you did 1 weekend and you stopped, right? So it is.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. It's not like it's freaking pain pills that be regular pain pills. You're going to be in a lot of freaking stress.
I have all the symptoms of opioid withdrawal for sure right now.
For real?
Oh yeah, for real.
Hey, Boss, we just had somebody ask, what was the toughest fight you had that you won?
For me?
Yep.
The toughest fight that I won. I would say, this guy right here, Kevin Reynolds, but also my rematch against Funaki Masakatsu. That was a guy I lost to my 3rd match, put me in a toe hold, and then I had a rematch against him, but now I knew what to do on the ground. And that guy was so tough. I knocked him down 4 times, and every time somehow the whole audience started chanting, he got back up again. And then the final knee was literally, my palms were black and blue after the fight, and my knees were bruised. And then the last one, I grabbed him by the hair, and I kneed him in the face as hard as I could. And that was it. He stayed down, but I was getting tired. Let me tell you. So that was a tough one.
Mine would probably be Cabbage.
Cabbage is a tough guy, right?
He's a tough dude. I mean, he's tough.
Yeah. Did you put him away or not?
Well, I finished him off. The body shots, you can hit him in the head all day. Body shots about all that hurt him.
Yeah. That will work.
Bean, guys, I have cornered for Bean. You know how many times I've cornered for you? Probably 10, I'll bet, and all over the world. And Bean won almost every fight that I got to see him fight. And you had some interesting opponents, man. James Thompson, James, right, Bob?
Yeah, I know.
Shawn, it's the guy they call the Colossus out of England, and he was like the toughest guy on the streets of London. Super bouncer, maniac, monster guy. And that was in England in front of his home crowd. And Bean, you knocked him out and James comes out like a house of fire every time. and you knocked
It
him
was
out in
pretty
about
quick.
12 seconds, I think, something like that. But
Yeah.
you know, here was a tough fight Butterbean had, and he probably won't want me to talk about it because I've seen him destroy like world-class guys in no time. Well, we get a call to put together a fight in Hawaii, and they want Bean. They call me at the last minute to bring somebody big out that's like theatrical. So I booked my friend Aaron Aguilera, otherwise known as the Hardcore Kid, pro wrestler, never fought before, and he's 6'6", good build, great look. So he's what TJ Thompson, the promoter, wanted. And I don't know how it happened, Bean. He got you into the second round. I still to this day am blown away. I don't know how that happened. I was hoping you weren't going to kill him. He's my friend. But
Hey, have either one of you guys, Boss and me, have either one of you been knocked out? I've seen you tap before on a leg thing with, I think it was Shamrock, Boss.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I didn't see all your fights. Have you ever been knocked the fuck out, like done?
No,
I've never been like knocked KO. Never. I've had my bell rung, but never been knocked out.
Yeah.
I was curious to know like what the other side feels like, right? Some people like, is it just go black, right?
That's what they say. You know, they say you don't feel it. You're just out and you wake up. But thankfully, I never had that. I made some crazy falls from buildings and stuff. I've been hit with a baseball bat. I've been hit with a Coca-Cola bottle, a big one, nunchucks.
Yeah.
But somehow I never got out. So that was good.
Yeah.
wow.
I have knocked out an opponent before, and then I seen them later that night, and they looked at me dead square and go, I'm going to get you when we get in the ring, because they thought the fight hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
I love when guys get up and they try to go after the referee, like they don't know, like the fight's over and going after the referee.
So we're fighting in Japan, and a friend of mine is fighting. I already fought, and he's now fighting. And this guy is on all fours with his hands on the ground. So my friend is standing in front of him, wants to kick him in the face. I said, no, wait. So I'm in the corner. I say, wait. If his hands leave the floor like this much, you can kick him in the face, right?
Wow.
So he's waiting, and suddenly the guy opens up, and he poof, and the guy flies backwards, and he's completely out, and the fight's over. So the whole evening goes. We go to the bus to pick us up. I mean, now we're talking, this is an hour and a half, 2 hours later. We go to the bus, and I forgot something in the dressing room, and I run back, and this guy who got knocked out was standing in his shorts. He's waiting, and I go, what are you doing here? He says, I'm waiting for my fight. He thought he still had to fight. I go, walk with me. Let's go find somebody for you.
Wow.
That was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
So, boss, never in practice or training, never flash knocked out. Bean never flash knocked out. Neither one.
No.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, Shawn, I've been knocked out before, and it's exactly what they describe. I mean, you wake up, you don't know what happened, you don't feel anything. You might feel it later, but it's not painful when it happens or in the immediate aftermath for sure. I've been clocked a bunch of times, and it's exactly what you're describing. But I can't, man, neither one of you guys had practiced even.
No, you know, there was a thing in Thai boxing in Holland. They say, but if you watch the fight, you see it's not true. They say, oh, you got dropped. And I say, I wasn't. I'm literally on the ground, and my leg is numb. And I'm talking to my corner. I said, dude, my leg is not working. It's just, I'm just talking. And I go like, that's not. But people say, oh, you got dropped there. I said, no, look at the fight. You see me talking to the corner.
Yeah. Crazy. Well, I had an opportunity to watch Stephanie McMahon get inducted into the Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame at the Olympia, along with one of my idols, Marcus Allen, who played running back for USC, won the Heisman, got the comeback player of the year when he played for Kansas City, and Hall of Fame football player. They were recognized at the Olympia weekend. I'm wondering, why did they induct Stephanie McMahon? Did she wrestle at some point in her career under her father's banner?
Well, yeah,
I know she married to Triple H.
Yeah, Shawn, any promoter in wrestling long enough is ultimately going to work themselves into the storyline, and it'll end up being a character, at least on, a handful of occasions. I had 5 matches in my short career as a wrestler because I owned a company. Stephanie actually main evented WrestleMania just a few years ago. It was her and Hunter, Triple H, her husband, against Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey. And when when you're like Stephanie, you're not a pro wrestler. We talked a little bit about this last week on the show about how a match works. You can't go out and improvise as the pros do. You have to like spot every single thing out. And, you know, all eyes were on Stephanie that night because she's not particularly coordinated for one thing. You know, she's not a pro wrestler.
Right.
And dude, she freaking nailed everything. That match was the best match of WrestleMania night, which blew people's minds that Stephanie McMahon would be in the best match of WrestleMania. It was pretty incredible.
Yeah. I got to go back on YouTube and check that out. I remember
Really
China used to train down here at Gold's Gym in Venice. I think she had a sister also. Started out, I think, competing actually in bodybuilding shows before she was wrestling, you know, back in the day. She was badass.
Who was that, Shawn?
China. I'm talking about China.
Yeah, I worked with her. At the Japan Pro Wrestling. She was the riot, man. She's so funny. Yeah, I had a good time. I remember we were going through a match, and she had to lift up the referee. And the referee looks at her like, "Can you do it?" And she grabbed him by the throat and by the crotch, and she just lifted him up, right straight up, right there. The guy was like freaking out.
She's also shy, though. I mean, she's very shy, and I mean, but once she got to know you, she opened up to you.
Oh. I mean, she's in the elevator. We're at the Tokyo Dome Hotel. And there's outside the elevators, they're open glass. And she's going up. And whilst we're going up, these people are downstairs. They're shouting China. And she lifts up her shirt with her breast. Everybody goes, "Hey!"
Yeah.
I hate to do this, but I got to hit the road.
Yeah, man.
Oh, don't worry about it.
These pumps over here, and I got to hit the road.
Butterbean, where are you going? Are you like driving to New York, or where are you headed?
I'm heading home to Alabama.
Okay.
And then I'm going to turn around, get the camper ready, and we're heading up to Tennessee, up the Smoky Mountains.
Nice.
There's a place that booked me. It's a Great Smoky Mountains Flea Market. I'm going to set up. I got a booth set up there. I'll be there this weekend.
You're driving your motorhome.
Yeah.
You got a little bird.
I'm in Arkansas right now.
So now, Bean, as you start driving, you lose your Wi-Fi, right? Or you're actually driving. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm driving.
Oh, so yeah, you can't talk and drive. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, you know, I'm just confused. I mean, it's like I was driving down the road, and this kind of intimidated me a little bit. I look across, I'm looking at an 18-wheeler, I'm looking at him dead in the eyes.
Holy crap! Yeah, you're elevated.
It's a big rig. It's not. It's short, but it's tall. It's really big.
Right. Well, brother, drive safe. We're gonna catch you next week.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Have fun.
Good, brother.
Thanks for going out of your way to be on tonight, man. We can always rely on Butterbean. We know that.
Exactly. Hey, listen, I just saw a question from Chuck, and he asked if we had any regrets through our fighting career. I know Chuck. There he is. And hey, listen, Chuck, look at his age, and he competed in boxing. He 2 years ago. He said, "I just want to do a match," and he won his freaking match. He just wanted to try it out one time. And Chuck is older than I am, so that's a great little accomplishment. So maybe we should ask him. But is there any things that you regret, Shawn?
As a bodybuilder, no. I was very methodical and very aware that the only reason my career would come to an end would be an injury. So if you looked at my training style and the guys I came up behind, my training style was nothing similar to Dorian Yates or Ronnie Coleman, a Marcus Rule, a Paul Dillette. I was more finesse, much like a technician, kind of like an artist like Bob Paris. There were certain physiques I liked, and I didn't watch these guys train, but I imagine they trained very similar because of the end result. The product looked like a lot of high reps, a lot of refinement, a lot of dieting. Whereas you look at Ronnie Coleman and some of the bigger guys, you know, they're at the deep end of the weight rack, right? Throwing around all kind of weights, and there's no real form. And that always kind of scared me because that bad form is opening yourself up to injury. And I'm just going to rattle this off. I didn't pre-think this, but here's career-ending injuries. Rich Gaspari tore his pec. John Brown, my mentor, who started me bodybuilding, tore his pec. The career was over. Kevin LeBron tore his pec. Thank God he came back. But, of course, Dorian Yates, before he was done, tore his bicep, tore his tricep, and Ronnie Coleman basically tore his body apart. These guys were all training a little bit more recklessly to what I trained. I trained more like an artist. I trained within the confines of what I could handle. I wasn't out there trying to squat 600-700 pounds just to see if I can do it. Like, I was using it as a technician, and it served me well. I didn't know I was saving my body for later, that it would be in such, good mechanical working. I don't have the aches and pains. I don't know what the painkillers are all about. And I don't wake up with bad shoulders, knees, hips. But I've witnessed it and I've seen it. Hip injuries, knee replacements, torn muscles. I think it has a lot to do with the style of training. And my physique, when you look at it, it looks like it might have been built with some work and some time, but you wouldn't think big and strong, I don't think.
Yeah. And did you ever hear about this? I remember the GHB, right? It was used a lot also in the. But did you hear a lot about this? Because I hear it from fighters. They tear muscles because of their using of GHB because it dehydrates you. Did you ever hear of that in bodybuilding?
Yeah, it was very popular in the 90s in Gold's Gym. I had left Gold's Gym to come back to Orange County, but I had some guys that fell victim to it. And I don't know why you would take something to mask feeling the weight.
Yeah.
My whole training was about feeling mind and muscle, right? Like Frank Zane and like LeBron and these guys. If I can't feel my muscle, the last thing I want to do is just be training an injury. But these guys, if you're doing GHB, they're probably doing other things, probably smoking weed and doing some other stuff that I'm just not into. Insulin, growth hormone. I mean, one drug begets another drug. And you're no longer really bodybuilding. You're just taking drugs. And it happens to the best of them. You'd be surprised because a lot of them move out from where they're home. They don't have the checks and balances of a good friend. They get thrown into this big industry of bodybuilding, and they're a celebrity. I'll use Paul DeMeo, the late Paul DeMeo, as an example. Came from Massachusetts. Some of the biggest legs this side of Tom Platz. He wound up dying of a heroin overdose. But he was messing around with GHB and some other stuff. But it was heroin that ultimately killed him, Quadzilla. And this was a guy that had the world by the tail. I've done some photo shoots with the guy. So you can wind up doing things that are detrimental to what it is you actually started out trying to do. And if you ever watched the movie The Rose with Bette Midler, that kind of put Bette Midler on the map, you can see that a little here and a little there winds up to a little bit more and a little bit more. And the next thing you know, you're freaking OD, and you're done. Yeah. You don't know what that line is until you cross it. Bodybuilding is no different.
Wow, man. Yeah.
Boss, there's a question. Shawn, thank you. Question asked, and I would love to hear your answer to. And it's, boss, if you could go back in time and fight any fighter on this planet, present or past, with you in your prime and they in their prime, who would it be, and how would that fight have gone?
Yeah, listen, when I was training, like I said last week, I was training, I had one sparring partner for like 90% of my fights. That's it. And it was a person who never even tapped me once. So it was very hard for me. So, and you're only good as your competition, as your training partner. So if I get thrown back now suddenly, and I go to a Greg Jackson place, and you get John Jones and all these guys I have to train with, you're going to be even better. So with that said, I would maybe at 185, because I was always a very light heavyweight. I was 197 at the weigh-ins, and I didn't even try that for my heavyweight fight. I literally had to drink waters to go over 200 pounds. So, but like in Israel Adesanya, like in Anderson Silva, because those guys, I would just love to see what I can do with striking against them. And of course, I always think that I will win, but I mean, I know I'm going to be very freaking. These are really good guys, so I might not win at all. But I was just, for me, it's always been checking. I never put the pressure on me like I have to win. I just fought for myself, and because I did that, it sounds like egomaniac, but it's absolutely the opposite. Because once you start fighting for your family members, for the audience, that means you're caring about others. And once you do that, you put too much pressure on yourself. If you just want to fight because you want to fight and don't care about winning or losing, which I didn't mind. I would like to win, but I never was down when I lost a fight. You see, so I didn't put that pressure on me. And once you go into a fight like that, it doesn't really matter. I remember a time, I might have said this on the show, that somebody told me, "Oh man, Bosh, you won like 12 fights in a row now." And I look at him, I go like, "Oh shit." He goes, "What?" I wish you wouldn't have said that, because I was afraid it was going to get inside my head, because now I want to win again and I won again. But thankfully, I just threw it away and I never thought about it. And I think if you fight like that, I can. You can fight the stars, and guys like this that I just mentioned are just freaking incredible strikers. I would love to see what I could do against them.
Yeah, styles make fights too. Yeah,
100%. And it will be and Vanderlei Silva. I almost fought him in Pride Fighting Championships, and it didn't happen, unfortunately. But that was when they did the K1 and Pride together at a big show, 91,500 people. And I said, listen, since I didn't train for 2 years. I said, you're asking me to fight him. This is in 6 weeks. I said, listen, I'm in shape, but let's do this. I didn't do any ground for like 2 years straight. So since it's a K1 and a Pride combination, why don't we do kickboxing with MMA gloves? I mean, that's what the people want to see anyway, right? They want to see us strike. They don't want to see us go to the ground. So they brought it to him, and they declined it, and they went with another fighter. And people go, oh, he's not afraid of anybody, dude. This is Vanderlei Silva. It's just was a smarter way for them to fight. So it was just his management. Trust me, this guy, he's not afraid of anybody. So that was it.
Is Shawn, his nickname is the Axe Murderer. So
I know Vanderlei Silva. I know who he is. But what are your thoughts, boss, on bare knuckle fighting? Because that doesn't really appeal to me. But what are your thoughts, and how different is it?
For me, I thought this was going to be the next big thing, and I was really hoping it would, because I believe it or not, CTE wise, it's more healthy for you, because you cannot hit somebody really in the heart. Unfortunately, we were talking about it last week. Somebody died now. But then again, you look at the record, 18 losses, 5 wins, 11 knockouts. Somebody needed to step in there and say, hey, listen, man, this is not for you. If you get knocked out 11 times, that's a lot, So I thought that bare knuckle boxing, yes, superficial, you get more cuts, but CTE-wise, it should be healthy for you. People go more for the body. But, yeah, you see guys coming straight from MMA now or from boxing into bare knuckle boxing. They will as hard as they can on the head. Now, they're going to, once they break their hands, they're going to watch out with that. But that's the only problem we're facing right now. They go a little bit too hard, and that could be very dangerous. But, as we all know, that glove is invented to protect the hand. If you have a protection around your hand, that means you can hit as hard as you want. With a bare knuckle, you can't do it. Somebody hits me, and I do this, just this, and he hit the top of my head, he's going to break his hand. Which
is why, Shawn, statistically, there's so many more serious injuries and deaths in boxing. When mixed martial arts came out, people were saying, how barbaric, there's no rules, people are going to die. Well, people, it's going to sound dumb, people died in soccer. It's a contact sport, so it is going to happen like it did in bare knuckle recently. But if you look at boxing compared to mixed martial arts, it's multiple amounts of deaths and serious injuries in boxing because of the big gloves. The brittlest bones in your body are right here. The hardest ones right here. If you do that with a boxing glove, you can do it 1,000 times, you're going to rattle the brain. You can't do that more than a couple times with bare knuckles. You're going to bust your hands up. So it's actually.
By the way, I'm just saying, we can get Dave LeDuc on. I'm pretty sure he will come on our show. He's the lightweight boxer. This is Thai boxing with headbutts and bare knuckle. Oh. And those guys, I don't think you see guys there with CTE walking around in Myanmar, where it comes from, Burmese boxing, they call it also. I mean, because they know they cannot go full power, although elbows to the head, full power, and headbutts allowed as well. But that could be a very interesting guest for us.
Is that on TV? Are you able to watch that style of fighting on television somewhere, or you got to go to YouTube?
Yeah, you got to go to YouTube for now, and he's really good with that. Like, I had him in my gym, and he wanted to work out with me. And I was holding focus mitts, and I never felt that kind of power with his elbows. His elbows were like extremely hard. I really had to put all my body weight in there. And I saw what he did. He stepped in really deep, but then still, because he's closing the distance, you would think he cannot generate it. But it was like, what the heck, dude? That was a whole different level of power. So you get hit like that or headbutt, and he does these crazy things. They hit you, and then when your head is here on the side, they go poof with the head just to the side, and that's just to put them out of the way and then come up with a hook on top. It's all combined in there. It's pretty amazing when you see a guy like that fight. Big knuckles, giant knuckles.
What's his name? I'm sorry?
Dave LeDuc.
Okay, all right, yeah.
He did the prison fights in Thailand, you remember? But they did those fights where these guys were for life in prison and they could fight themselves out.
I think Marvin Hagler did that too. I think Marvin Hagler used to fight in prison back in the day.
I saw that documentary.
Raw weight. He was at a raw weight.
And he was fighting on that show. That prisoner didn't leave.
We had Tyson Fury and Wilder, which some people were saying is like the greatest fight in recent years because they both knocked each other down. And of course, Tyson won the fight. But what did you guys think about that one? Did you catch it? Tyson Fury boxing. These guys are 6'9" and 6'7" in heavyweight boxing.
Wow. Tyson Fury, man.
It was a trilogy.
Really good fight all the way through, man. Competitive.
Unbelievable.
If it gone to the judges, that'd have been a tough call. I mean, serious hats off to both those guys. Both total pros that night.
I don't think we'll see a number 4. I think Tyson has Wilder's number. He can't beat him.
What a guy! What a story too, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I still need to watch that documentary. They told me you have to watch the documentary. It's an amazing documentary about Tyson Fury, the lead up to the fight.
Oh, right, yeah.
Lead up to this past fight. Okay.
Yeah, I really would like to see. And by the way, somebody just asked me here. He says, "What was that TV show that I had in where I show people how to bet people up?" That was called Punk Payback. And if you go to YouTube, Punk Payback, you can find it there. I thought it was hilarious, the show. Unfortunately, it didn't go to a second season, but dude, we had a lot of fun to make that.
Was that anything like Bully Beatdown or some different
no
format?
So what happened was this. They would show, for instance, somebody got robbed at the gas station. Somebody comes in with a weapon or with a knife or an axe or sometimes the weirdest weapons, a big tree. I mean, and then they would go, they rob the place. And then they put me in we built the same set, and they put me in the spot of the guy. What could you have done? And then I would, ad-lib, and I would start just beating the crap out of these people, but do it with a smile, while you're punching, while you're looking at the camera, say, hey, if he's a bad guy, you can hit him a few more times, and then keep going. So it was a real fun, light show, but the techniques we used they were real though.
I love that idea. Now I've got to watch this. It sounds like a binge watch coming up this weekend, perhaps.
Yeah, you like it. Punk Payback. Check it out.
I definitely
watch that, and then I'm gonna go watch the new James Bond movie in the theater, actually.
Oh man, he's got to be good. What? That's Raimi, the actor who played Eddie Murphy. He's the bad guy. Man, great acting.
Hey, I wanted to share this with you guys. Somebody just sent me 2 photos from what you were talking about before. I have not seen this before. Can you see that, boss and Shawn?
Put it a little bit more to the. Yeah, there.
Yeah, China.
Oh wow, there you go.
But here we go.
That's China.
Even better. You got to keep this in mind. What we just saw. The next one's even better.
To
the left. Back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she was strong. You're talking. What is she? 6 foot tall. She was 6 foot at least.
She's a big girl.
100 plus.
Yeah, and
she was a big lady. I'm looking for this picture. Watch this picture. So she walked in. We were at the ESPY Awards with the after party. She walks in. I tell my wife, "Okay, go with me. I got to make a picture with her." You probably know her.
Well,
that's Isis. That's Lindsay Snow. Isis. Yes.
Wait. It's still too bright. So pull it back a little bit.
Yeah, maybe closer. Oh, so let me turn this light off. Maybe this will help. Yeah.
Right. You almost had it.
Almost.
Yeah. Boss, I'm now looking for mine because I have one.
There.
Her name is Lindsay Snow. That's Isis, pro wrestler Isis, Lindsay.
Verdorie. Shit.
Is she a wrestler, boss?
She was a pro wrestler, yeah. A big, giant lady. And it was really cool. My head was literally, she grabbed my head and put it in between her breasts like this. And so that's how small I was. She just did that.
Nice place to be, right? Not a bad place to be.
My wife looked at me and said, "Hey, she's doing it. She's forcing me."
Yeah, boss, that's Lindsay Snow. She goes by Isis. And
Lindsay Snow.
We're pulling up photos.
Isis is her 6'9". She's 6'9", legit.
What? Are you kidding me? Holy crap! That's a
yeah. I've got now. I'm looking. I have one somewhere with her, and my eye is at her breast level. It's just right exactly where it is. Yes.
I want you guys to pull up your favorite picture on your iPhones right now.
Oh God! All right, that's a tough one, man.
I'm gonna show you mine because I came up. I think, boss, you and I are pretty close to the same age, correct?
Yes.
Shawn, we're all close to the same age, man. Come on.
Well, you're the senior. You're the elder statesman here.
I am.
That's
the elder statesman.
That's me.
Holy crap, boss! You look like a GQ model.
I was a model for quite a while.
What the hell?
You with the hair.
What the hell? Wow, that's impressive.
Shawn, what do you got? Share one with us and give us the story behind it, man.
I'm looking. I got so many. Well, I came up in bodybuilding right next to this guy. Okay, so when I was in Hawaii, which is where I have the Shawn Ray Classic. Look up, Rick. When I was in Hawaii, Shawn Ray Classic, he was there doing his one-man stand-up, right? So having an opportunity with the DJ before Mike comes on, who's my MC of my show, he got me in to watch this one-man stand-up. And this is where Mike was touring around. It's basically a biography of him telling his life story.
I went there.
Yeah, with his wife in his ear. And he's telling us about all these challenges. He's taking me right back. It's like, I think he's right around the same age as us.
Yeah.
And I remember as he's telling these stories, as they're hitting the news and the headlines, right? It's like it was yesterday, and I'm surprised at his memory. Like, he has a very good memory about how all this shit, you know, he's got a tiger. He's like, what 20-year-olds walk around with a tiger, running the car into the tree, and, you know, Don King giving him a suitcase full of money and being ripped off for millions and going to jail. He told the whole thing. And for me, because I read Mike, I watched Mike, I studied Mike, I was Mike in the gym with my training partners, you know, workout partners, I was Mike Tyson. And to hear him on the other side, after all the shit we know we went through, being clear-headed, being present, and recalling all that. I mean, he wasn't a comedian, but he was funny as hell.
I was super impressed.
The part that you laugh at the most is the realest shit. The realest stuff is what we crack up at, and that's how a good comedian is, because we can all relate to these stories. But some of the things he's saying, like, we would never, what was that movie he was in? They made 3 of them.
Hangover.
Huh?
Hangover.
Right. So that was like his life. Like, he lived all that crap, you know?
Dude, I was so impressed with him, and I've been fortunate to watch him train and to meet him a bunch of times. And there's a lot more to Mike than people think. I mean, he's a very smart guy. Like, he really is. And when I saw the show, I believe it was his first time he did. It was the opening, the first one. We saw it in Los Angeles. And I was blown away. I go, wow, he did that really well.
Very impressive, considering you think, like, you know, a boxer taking some blows to the head. Listen, his last fights were like Ali's fights. They weren't very impressive. And, you know, he's got his hot boxing. He smokes a lot of weed. So you think he's not going to be able to pull these stories out. But he was money, man. And that was one of my bigger influences.
That story when he talks about the other boxer, says, Mike Tyson is a faggot. Mike Tyson is a faggot. That whole thing, that deal, you know. And then he said, I saw a Bruce Lee movie, and he kicked him with a spinning back kick in the face. And he went down, but the guy was like on PCP. He says, he would stand up again, and he knocked him down again. Boom. And then constantly he's telling you he got back up again.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Bananas.
Hilarious.
Shawn, we need to reach out to Mike Tyson.
He's right here, up here in Newport Coast.
That's a good note.
6 degrees of separation, trying to get a hold of the guy. So I'm not that far off. And the irony of it was, I was 21 years old doing the NPC Nationals in Atlantic City, a show that would launch me into professional status. I'm on the boardwalk in Atlantic City for the first time in my life, walking the day after my show. I'd won the title. I went into a Mrs. Fields cookie place. I grabbed some cookies, came out, and Mike was walking in. Mike fights right there where I competed at the Atlantic City Convention Center. He was fighting Terrell Biggs, I think, like the following week. And just brushing past him as he went in, the last thing I was going to do was try to get it between the entourage. But it set my mind into, like, Mike Tyson mode for the rest of my training career. I was a bodybuilder, but in the gym, I was Mike, man. I mean, he was so influential on my career. He's right here in Newport Beach. I mean, I'm sure I could probably try to make some way out.
We've got to find him. I want to tell you my quick story with Mike Tyson. My fight record against Mike Tyson is 2-0. And if you want to know what that means,
yeah,
right. I was at the Hard Rock in Vegas with my wife at the time, Gabrielle, and we pulled up to the Hard Rock, and she was dressed to the nines. She looked beautiful that night, as you would on a Saturday night in Vegas, go doing everything you can. The Hard Rock, there's 2 sets of doors to get into the lobby. So
yeah.
We go to the first set. We're about to get to the second set, and the door opens. And it's Mike Tyson coming out. So he holds the door wide open for us. Gabrielle walks past. As she walks past, he turns around and does the eyes straight on the butt. And he turns around, he sees me. We make eye contact. So I punched him in the stomach. Not for real. Not that if I did for real, he would do anything. But so he laughed, and that was it. That was 1-0. And then about a year later, we were at the W Hotel in Phoenix, and with Sylvester Turkai, true giant amongst men, and Stefan Gamlin, who almost beat Bob Sapp, the new American Bob Sapp. Monsters, guys 6'7", 6'8". They were about horseshoe. 7 or 8 of us out. Every guy was a monster, 6'5" or better, 300 or better, all dressed to the nines, looking theatrical. So we're walking up the stairs to the W, and you see this group coming. Everyone stops and looks. I mean, what is this, right? So as we're walking up, we see Mike Tyson standing at the top of the stairs. And like everybody else, he's looking at us. So as we walk by, we kind of make eye contact. I punch him in the stomach, and he goes, "You're the guy that hit me in the stomach at the
See?
Oh,
Yes, but that's what I mean. You see, he remembered. That's him, man. I'm telling you.
he's doing very well with his hot boxing podcast. He's making probably more money doing what he does with his CBD marijuana thing than he was when he was fighting. I mean, he's raking in the dough doing that business.
Good for him, man.
Guys,
Good for him.
Before we sign off, Wilson wanted to say hello real quick. Wilson, the vicious pit bull, wanted to say hi.
Sticking the tongue out at us.
Somebody just asked me who was the toughest K1 fighter, which is a very hard thing. I'm a little biased there because like Peter Ertz was a very close friend of mine, so I go with him. But Sammy Shield was the 4-time champion. Andy Hook, really good. I mean, there's so many. Raymond Bonjeski, Ernesto Host, and Sammy Shield. Oh, I just said he was the 4-time K1 champion. Wow. So, there's a lot of guys, but I like Peter Ertz. And why? Because this guy would, for instance, had back surgery, comes back, wins the whole tournament again. Then he gets knocked out really bad, comes back, wins the next tournament. I mean, the guy is just unbelievable. They just come back the whole time. He's so tough. I mean, this guy, what you see in movies, kicking trees, he can do that. And there's zero burn on this.
Real quick, I've always been curious, boss. Like, is K1 comparable to UFC in terms of paydays?
Well, at that time, yes. At that time when they had K1, they made good money. The last K1 was $400,000, right? And they won the tournament. Okay. Yeah. And it was always pretty much won by a Dutch guy. It was so ridiculous that from the last few K1s there were, from the final 8, there will be like 7 Dutch. They fight over the whole year. So they asked him, for instance, Badr Hari, he's from Turkey, but he was born in Holland. But then they asked him, "Can you come up with the Turkish flag?" So at least they got some colors. Otherwise, everything is Dutch. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, those guys are real animals. If you think MMA stuff, I always say those guys.
It's a different animal. Those guys are animals. Like,
didn't Bob Sapp do K1? Bob Sapp, was he K1?
He did, and he stopped Ernesto Hoest. It was the wildest thing.
Bob,
but then
I'll never forget. Bob these days, unfortunately, he lost his reputation because he's lost literally 40 or 50 fights in a row, and they don't last more than 30 seconds because he goes out there and he quits. But I remember we were in Seoul, in South Korea. I had Shawn O'Hare and Tom Howard there to fight against Hongman Choi, the 7-foot Korean and whatnot. And there was an 8-man K1 kickboxing tournament that night, and Bob was in the tournament.
Is that a winner take all? Is that how it works?
No, it wasn't, but there was big prize money for the winner. And at the time, an Australian tough guy named Sam Greco was training Bob. And Sam treated Bob like, pardon my language, like a little bitch. I mean, he made Bob work. I sat there ringside, or actually inside the front row, because that's where we would go, and watch Bob win 3 legitimate kickboxing matches that night to win that tournament. So there was a brief point in time when Bob Sapp even was a real kickboxer. It was pretty amazing.
He did really amazing, yeah. But then fame got to him, I think, and he started paying attention more to that, and unfortunately pulled him away from training.
Yes,
and that was a shame. Sam Greco, I mean, he's a badass. He did the 50-man kumite. So 50 black belts you have to fight. 2 minutes each. So the trick is, you're gonna have to see if you can do it, to knock as many out as you can. And these are all Japanese guys. They don't want a foreigner, a gaijin, to win, to make it. So they're coming after you. And to do 50 men, that is it's pretty gnarly.
I'm surprised that they put it on TV. Like, why isn't that on TV? I'd watch that.
Yep.
The greatest thing never to make TV, guys. If you haven't seen it, look it up over the weekend. Did you ever see TFC out of Latvia, the Team Fighting Championships?
No.
Or you got it, boss? Did you ever see that?
No. I'm gonna
look it up. Team Fighting Championships. It was out of Latvia, They get 5 guys against 5 guys in
Oh,
a
I
giant
see.
cage with
Somebody's
5
gonna go.
referees, and they go, and all guys would charge. And same rules as MMA, but the thing is, the first guy that would lose, from tapping out or some, getting knocked out or ref stoppage would have to leave. Then it was 5-on-4. So inevitably, some guys getting double teamed.
Yeah.
It's 5-on-3 and 5-on-2, and that's when it really starts to get ugly. But it's pretty damn entertaining for that.
Yeah,
first
I
couple
see
of
it
minutes.
there.
It sounds like rock fighting to me, like pit bull fighting.
It's a little dangerous, that I'm not a big fan of. It's fun to watch, but even that, because once you team up with 3 against 1,
Yeah.
and you're trained fighters, that's dangerous.
Yeah, not cool, not cool. I think
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna give Sam Greco a call though. We should bring Sam on. And that guy is funny as hell. Also, he'd be good to have on.
Oh yeah, I know him very well. He's a good dude.
Absolutely,
So-
guys. We're like past an hour, and
Okay.
same as like every week. So good to see you guys. Glad we were able to do this, and that Butterbean was able to join us. We know that 2 weeks from today we have Mick Foley on with us, which I'm very much looking forward to.
And I was going to say, in 2 weeks, I'm headed to Switzerland on the 27th when Mick Foley comes on. So he's going to have to fill in for me.
Okay, well, we'll miss you for sure.
Yeah.
But in honor of next week being your last week for a couple of weeks, we'll see
Yeah.
who we can get to join us, and we'll keep it going, guys.
All right,
All right,
Bartos.
boys, take it easy. Good to see you.
Gentlemen,
All right.
Godspeed. Take care.
signing off for Talking